the reason why these laws exist is to prevent discrimination. It's to prevent Donald Trump from saying, I'm not renting my apartment complexes to black people at
Right.
all. It's to prevent banks from not lending to people. It's to prevent state governments from not, uh, having bakeries bake cakes for gay couples getting married or whatever. It's not, it goes on and on and on and on. It's to protect people from, who they are. Like in the title, I always get Title 7 and Title 9 mixed up, but there's protected classes in the Constitution, which is mostly things you're born with that you're not allowed to be discriminated against, which
Mm-hmm.
is your sex, your orientation, your race, your country of origin, that kind of thing. You're not supposed to be able to discriminate against that. And everybody should be for that. This isn't some fucking radical liberal concept. It's
Well,
not.
yeah, I, I think one of the problems is even in how we respond to it. Like people end up putting their credentials forward as black people, as women, instead of going, no, we had a system of quotas in which 100% of the people hired for these positions were white men,
Mhm.
regardless of their qualification. And so we had to put in rules that ensured that the best person got hired. And that required them to consider race, gender,
And then imagine a time before those rules were put into place, somebody who was a woman that actually did get hired and was so skillful and so talented and had such knowledge that was requisite and was literally saving the Southern Hemisphere from fucking fall to fascism single-handedly, pretty much, right? Earning. Imagine breaking through when and all that's around you is white men and everything above you and everyone taking credit for your work is a fucking white man. And you're still acknowledged as the expert in the whole world and the best in what you do. Imagine what that takes to get through that eye of that needle and stand there. And now they're tearing that, they're erasing that.
They are definitely trying to, but I think the reason so many extraordinary people emerge in these history books, you're talking about Elizabeth Freeman, but like the hidden figures, all of these stories get told because for you to even have stood in that place, you had to be extraordinary. You had to be extraordinary at your job, and you had to be extraordinary at dealing with the racism, the sexism, the homophobia, all of these things.
Yeah.
And so that's why there's so many stories about extraordinary people. But I think we have to stop what we have seen in this Trump administration. If you didn't understand white privilege before, you've got to understand it now as you watch appointee after appointee with no skill set, with charges looming or convictions on their record that ought to have disqualified them from sitting in the room to begin with.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make us have a conversation to justify anyone who's not a white man in any position. And so we've got to flip that around and stop arguing on their territory, which is the assumption that white men are qualified and anyone who isn't has to be a DEI hire. We got to get rid of that nonsense and say these laws are in place because left to your own devices, you have reinforced not being a meritocracy, not hiring the best person, discriminated against an incredible talent bank, the talent that has actually built this nation.